Hello, all. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Rolanda Fabien. I'm the founder and CEO of Bright Idea, which is an special education consulting firm. And I help parents of children with special needs. And I ensure that parents are empowered and equipped to show up confident and informed when they go to their children's IEP and Section 504 meetings. And so I'm on with Hureya. Hureya, why don't you tell our listeners and viewers a little about you?
Yes, yes. My name is Marie Medkill, and I had a journey with my second kiddo, whose name is Naveed. Naveed was born in December 2011, and so at an age about 2 or 2.5, 3 years old, I saw a lot of cognitive issues where he wasn't saying many words. And as far as walking delays, he was crawling. And there are also some other issues that were popping up. So my journey started about 11 years ago with Naveed. You know what I did. His physicians and neurologists told me that he was never going to walk, but deep inside, I knew that he was going to walk. And so I did everything I could besides the time or part and listening to the physicians and neurologists. I did a lot of online checking, reading, and listening to different podcasts, educating myself, just all kinds of materials that I could read, and went to the library reading the different materials for ADHD and all other learning disabilities with kids. And so his healing path started about 2017, where I reached the point where I was just very unsure, probably got 2 hours of sleep at night. Um, he was very busy kid. He had ADHD, just very not at peace. And so I was really struggling with him in ways, a lot of parents can probably know the stress and the worry when you have a child with learning disabilities or special needs. And so from there on, I just kind of like I said, research every moment of every day, probably 10, 12, 20 hours a day, finding practitioner, finding different healing modalities, uh, taking Naveed everywhere I could so he can get healed. Besides that, the science part and that opened the door each time I Googled something. God just put it in my face and I took it in and I knew that that's where I need to take Naveed to get healed. So when Naveed was 11 years old, now he's a different kid. Uh, he Now he no longer has sensory issues. That was another main problem that he had, and uh auditory, where he when somebody was talking to him, it was just mumble words. And so that's why he wasn't talking at age 3, because of his auditory issues. So his journey started with his auditory issues, which I took him to a physician and we did a 6-month auditory training where he just basically 20 minutes a day listen to soft music, 20 minutes a day. By the third day, he was a different kid. He could sleep at night. He could sleep all night long. That was the first time he sleeps all night long.
Wow.
Right. It was it was a game changer. That auditory training was a game changer for this kid. And he doesn't have autism, but he had a lot of features and symptoms of of autism, because a lot of the kids that have autism, they never sleep because of auditory issues. The science really doesn't tell you that there's auditory ancestry issues with these kids. Um and I had to find out on my own, Googling resources, reading. So that's where his journey started. And like I said, by the third day listening to these tapes, he was a different kid. He was sleeping, he was talking, he could hear words as normal as, you can hear. And that's where the journey started. And after that, I did some sensory exercises with him where I took him into another practitioner where you could work on his sensory and being grounded. Um and then like I said, there's just every step God opened up the door and he said, "Hey, take Navid there," after his sensory issues took him. So I took him for his ADHD, which was another 6 month program which he got healed from that. That was another game changer. He couldn't read at all. And after we did the ADHD and 6 month program, he can read now. He didn't have his learning disabilities anymore. Just a different kid, night and day. He could speak and 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 understand or com- comprehend the materials that were given to him at school and at home. He was on the IEP pull out for a while, and he's still on the IEP program, but he's excelling excelling in all his subjects. Every time I have his IEP program, he's over fulfilling all his goals. And just my instincts told me that, science doesn't have all the answers. And I'm a very grateful person. I had a gut feeling, and I knew he could have healed from this. Maybe could walk from this, maybe could read from this, maybe could heal from the, God alone. That's what happened. And he's a different kid at a different place with him. Now I'm at peace with him. And I'm not stressing anymore. I have happiness. I don't have the worries anymore. As moms, we have so many worries and so much stresses about our kids, and worrying about how tomorrow is. Is tomorrow going to be another struggle? Is it going to be another, painful thing? But today I don't have those days anymore with Naveed. And I just want to reach out to all the parents that are out there that are lost. And the science can be an answer and telling you there are answers, there's healing, and that you can get for your kids. And these kids that come to the world that have special needs are the gifted ones, and you learn so much from them. They're pretty much here so that parents can learn and grow in ways that these kids show you. So it's been, a journey that I wouldn't give anything up for it. It was a journey for me that I realized that I had to change and grow in many ways that maybe taught me his journey through me. And I am so blessed to have Naveed in my life. Without him, I don't think what I know today would have existed. And so that was my journey with Naveed. And I think it's my calling to reach out and help anybody or any parents that are having struggles with their kids. And as far as uh, learning disabilities, ADHD, sensory issues, autism, I'm here to help. And I will help in any way I can. And believe me, there is healing for these kids, and there's a new life for them. They can do the best they can. And I just want to put that work out there. And if I can help, I just want to help, and that's my calling. That's about it.
Hureya. Well, that is more than enough. But well, first of all, thank you for being so transparent with your story, and thank you for sharing. I could tell that your heartfelt emotion through the journey, from not knowing how to help Naveed until you got to where you are now, um, where he's doing so well in school. And you're not having the struggles that you were initially trying to figure out what would be best and how you would help him. And now you've dedicated your time to helping other parents who are facing similar challenges with having children that have special needs. And how can you help other children succeed like you've done with your own through their own practice, through their own experience? I know you said that Naveed was and still is going to school, and he's on an IEP program and doing really well. Can you share a little bit with me, particularly because I'm just curious, because this is where my passion is, and my passion is helping parents who have children in the school system or have children who have IEPs or have Section 504 plans, and they're trying to work with the school to be successful in the process collaboratively and help their children. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience working with the schools and getting results for Naveed that way?
Yeah. So, the school Navid goes to, it's a good school, and I had to work with the school very, very closely. I'm a person where I might get on somebody's nerves, but at the end of the day, I am a mom.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be an advocate for this kid, and I was on top of things all the time. I didn't see progress. I would text, I would even call the director of the IEP program, get her on the phone. I got her a couple of times on my meetings, on the IEP meetings. I told her, I said, please attend these meetings. And she was another game changer. The director of the special needs program. And so she would come into my meetings at the school. She would ask me, what do you want her to know right now? What do you need for this? What do you need for Naveed? And I would always address what are his needs and comprehending. If Naveed didn't understand materials you're giving him, is there a set of time that you guys are asking Naveed to be reading you the story? Did you understand it? Did you comprehend it? What did you understand? What did you understand out of it? And so things like that. And then I got a lot of hours for him. So every IEP meeting I had, I would ask whatever. Right. My heart would tell me to ask for. Maybe it's God willing, and I would get it. I got a lot of hours for Navid, for pull up or pull ins and push ins, and having done one on one, not the tutoring. What do you,
Paraprofessional support?
oh yes, yes, paraprofessional support in the school, where he was pulled out for different subjects, and then somebody would come in the classroom where they would help him out, kind of maneuver around the classroom and the materials he needed and what he needed. So that's helped a lot. And like I said, the other part was, I was just always on top of things. I wasn't taking no for an answer.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wasn't taking no for an answer because um along the journey I needed that. I need that. I am not going to take no for an answer, and I'll make it work out to where if I need to call to know 10 times a day, I would call. If it's 20 times a week, I would call. If I needed to get a person on my calendar or at that meeting that would help and support, I would get it done. So, yeah, it was a lot of work from my part too that I did. And so that's the way it would work out to Navid's benefit.
Mhm. Yes, yeah, I do. Yes, I really do understand. Glad to hear you say that all the strategies worked for you, because these are some of the things, some of the very same strategies that we talk about with our parents and teach them how to do. Because you have to be very strategic. And like you said, you have to stay the course. You have to invest the time. One of the things that I hear a lot is that they don't have time, they don't have energy. It's just too much. So how did you manage to do all the things to stay on top of this and to get involved with everything else that you had going on when you weren't getting any sleep at night and other things were that you were doing. So how did you manage to fit all this into your schedule?
Oh, okay. I was working and I'm still working, and I am and was working a full-time job at the same time dealing with Naveed, issues in school. And it's just, he was my number one. And I knew that, this kid was here for me to learn and grow. And I wasn't gonna take no. And I didn't treat, I, I didn't treat me differently. No, I didn't treat him differently because they knew he was capable of it. I knew he was capable of it. When he graduated from kindergarten, all the kids went up and got the diploma. And at that age, he was really, really going through symptoms and couldn't, speak. He was just very shy, and he wouldn't even get up from a seat to go get a diploma. And at that moment, I was sitting in the chair and I said, Naveed, Naveed might not go get his diploma right now, but I know one day he's going to be involved and victorious in class. And I knew that in my heart. And can't give up you just can't give up on your kid, because if you give up on your kid, then I mean, they're just not going to go there. You just can't give up. You can't give up hope,
Mm,
because if you give up of the whole thing, he he has nothing to thrive for now.
absolutely.
Yeah. So don't give up hope, because that kid is gonna do amazing things. They're going to do amazing things. You can't give up on your kid. You just can't. And that's not that's not what I did. And I think that's probably 100% where Naveed is today, because I can't give up on him. I didn't treat him differently. I think he was going to be this special needs kid that I was always going to be a servant to. I did not want to take that. I didn't want to have that, because I knew what he was capable of. Maybe it was possible.
Right. Right. And with the right supports, every child has their own ability levels, and putting the right supports in place can help them reach their highest potential.
Well, they just have to plug in.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you just have to plug in the puzzle, you have to plug in the puzzle. What puzzle? Which part am I missing? What am I missing out on the puzzle?
Hmm. And it sounds like in the beginning, you did get a little bit of resistance from the school.
Mhm.
You had to get the special needs director involved in times during the process of your journey. But once they saw that you were a dedicated parent, that you were very much involved, you were willing to do the extra work and to go the extra mile, then the school began to work with you and collaborate with you so that you could get the things you needed for Naveed. Is that right?
Right, right. You have to show up and tell them, you have to show up. And so, I know schools are busy, teachers are busy. If a parent doesn't care, then why would the school care? They have
Mhm,
so many kids there who are, uh, you know, who are they going to look out for first? You just have to be um an advocate for your kid and for your child as a parent. You just have to do it.
mhm. That's exactly right. 100% agree with you. 100%. That's why, we teach our parents how to do that. That's exactly why we built the programs that we
Mhm.
did, because we 100% agree that you have to show up and you have to be there, the more involved you are. And because, like you said, you're a full-time mom and you work full-time in addition to having a child with special needs. But once you've got this team of support built around your child, and once you've got that relationship built with the school, well, let me ask you. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Did you find that after you did all that, after you put in the work and after you built the relationships, that over time advocating got easier? Like, you didn't have to be as involved.
Oh, no, because when once they're that much involved, and the school and the teachers and the principal and the IEP program staff know that you're so much involved, that you're not going to give up, then they're like, oh, okay, well, I just don't want to get another call from her, right?
Mhm.
I just wanted to know they're going to do what Naveed needed them to do. I mean, do you get what I'm saying?
I do 100% agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody, you just have to be.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I've seen too. So I've seen that when you're a parent who is very concerned and involved, when you want to know and you show up and you get a team of people who feel the same way and then work together. And because you're there, they're as concerned about your child as you are. So you don't have to be on guard and show up and struggle, because the teachers are. And most teachers, I will say that most teachers get into education because they love children and they love to teach.
Right. They care.
Right. Right. They care. But so it is, like you said, a difficult job when you have a parent that understands that. But at the same time, you're willing to do your part, your child. And because you're willing to show up, they show up. But you just have to know how to do it. So I applaud you. I applaud you, Hureya.
Thank you. I'm just kids with this key. It would be with these kids that have behavior issues, who want to deal with that all day long, right?
Right. And I've been there because I used to be a behavior program. So,
Right. So that's where you have to come in and put at in the time and show up, like you said. You just have to do it, otherwise it's not going to get done.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And the students that I used to work with, even as an administrator and a special education teacher, some of the things that I knew were, one, if you show up and show students that you care, then they care about what you have to say. I could get my students to respond to me because they knew I cared for them. And that's the same with parents. When parents know that you care, not only about their child, but also about making sure that they are okay too. Then if they know you care about the parents, then they already have cleared so much. You've cleared up so much confusion and so much frustration because you've already established that we're in this together.
Right. And thank you. Yeah, we're all energy. Every human being is energy, and that energy shows up even if you don't know. It shows up. It does.
Mhm.
Your energy gets you, out there, and your energy showed as a caring, or it showed the not caring, or showed the angry, or it shows the frustration. And we read each other's energy without actually reading it. So your body's reading, you realize your body feels it, because we are all one, right?
Yes.
We're all one.
Yes. And children feel it. Teachers feel it. You feel it. Tell me, what do you think? Where would you be right now if you hadn't gotten the training, been so involved, used the resources, stayed the course, and pushed through? Where do you think you'd be right now?
I would be in a very worried, stressful place that I don't want to be in. it would be so much headache and so much stress and just adding pain to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's so I guess it would be important for parents to understand that typically things don't get better on their own. It would take some effort on their part and probably more struggle in the beginning because things do get better over time as they stay the course.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. So, well, if anybody who's watching, what would you well, let's say that they're on the fence about what they need to do about joining the advocacy program, um, signing up for Bright Idea, or calling and reaching out to you for support, or getting involved in the school. What would your advice be to them?
Mm. My advice would be, like I said earlier, don't give up. Don't give up hope. Don't go and doubt what you see in your child. It's not going to be the same as what you see 6 months from now or a year from now, you know? Don't give up hope. Just believe in your child and get help. It's going to be a game changer. You have to believe in your kid, do your work. You do know the work is needed, and we're here to support you any way we can.
That's right. And Bright Idea is here to support you.
Right. Thank you. Like I said, this is my calling, and I just want to help these kids. I just want to help these kids to be their best, achieve their best, you know, and also their parents are not going to be in a stressful environment. They're not going to be angry. 80% of special needs parents get divorced because of all the stress, agony, the pain, and sorrow there is, and this can help. It can help bring peace back to your home, bring peace back to your lives, and not be in a stressful place.
Mhm.
Uh, More resources, healing modalities, and I do energy work. I can help you help your kid with that and get you in a better place.
Mhm.
If you're in a better place, you can help your kid. And if
Right.
you're in a right, if you're in a stressful and just angry and frustrated place, you can't help yourself and there's no way you can help your kid. And so I'm here to help any way we can.
Yes. Well, you have definitely helped me. And I listened to your story about your perseverance and how you didn't give up and how you sought resources, how you worked with the school and wouldn't take no for an answer. And from where you started to where you are now is just an amazing transformation. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story and your testimony. And I know that it's going to inspire other parents. And I will say that for anyone who needs to get in touch with us, they can see the show notes or send an email to support@brightidea.com. We'll also make sure your information is in those show notes. And I want to thank you, Hureya, for your time. And thank you again for sharing.
Thank you as well for having me and it's been a pleasure,
All
Dr.
right.
Fabian.
All right. Thanks. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Hureya.
Bye.